Dagnabbit, I hate when that happens. Hey, welcome to the show. It is me, your girl Labor Lee, aka Cat Lee, and
You have now tuned in to Ambitiously the podcast.
listen, had to get my water ready because we got some things to talk about. I know. Hey, Doc, honey. I know. First, let me just salutations. Today is Wet and Wired Wednesday. Here lately, we've been more wired than wet, but it's cool. We have taken it upon ourselves to investigate some of these cases that have come up. I have some other things to say involving these type of cases as well, but we've been reading court documents here lately, getting to the nitty gritty of things, finding out, the things that we don't know about, or, perhaps they don't necessarily tell you when you watch the news, because, they have to keep it brief. So yeah, we're gonna continue this Ghislaine Maxwell situation and talk about her situation and what led up to her being found wanted when it comes down to these cases. Her and Epstein. We're going to do his too, because I have a lot more to talk about when it comes to him. A whole lot more. Oh my gosh, but we're going to try to tie them all in together and see how that works. But anyway, some things I have to say. Join the conversation. You can call in or you can text. The numbers 443-850-4828, 443-850-4828, or you can ask me to drop the link, and I just might, but you must be on your best behavior. I would like y'all to come in and give your insight on these cases that we've been discussing lately. I know it's a lot to go through, but trust me, it's a lot to uncover and understand. It gives you a bunch of understanding about how a predator's mind works, how predator mind works, and then also if he has a co-D or cohort, how perhaps that person's mind works as well. So make sure you tap in. If you want to come on this show, hit us up. Contact at ambitiouslyent.com. Again, that email address is contact at ambitiouslyent.com. And remember to hit the like button, share it, share, or subscribe and subscribe to this podcast. We need all of that. It's a free way to just support this show. And we'll take any kind of support we could get right about now, baby. Free, financial, doesn't even matter. We'll take it. We will. check out our website, www.ambitiouslyeent.com. Again, the website is www.ambitiouslyeent.com. Okay, now that we've gotten all of that small talk out of the way, thank you, Doc, for letting me know that my audio and visual is good, because we got some things to talk about. And if by chance we have, which I don't anticipate, but just in case we do, I will jump over to the audio just so you guys can hear me, because we don't want to miss any of this. Oh, you sweet thing. All right. Last we spoke, we were talking about how they were suppressing so much evidence, and how the courts were going back and forth between Ghislaine's lawyers and the young ladies. Her name is Virginia. I will not say her last name because I do not want to mess it up. But how Virginia's lawyers and Ghislaine's lawyers were going back and forth about the suppression of evidence. It went so far that it went to the Supreme Court. So although they did uncover some evidence was still, sealed. So I thought we would move along a little bit. It was a lot in that situation, but where we're going to go to now is the defendant's statement of material undisputed facts pursuant to Local Civil Rule 56.1. Now, let's see how we're going to go about this. Okay, so pursuant to the Rule 56.1 of the Local Civil Rules of this court, defendant Ghislaine Maxwell submits this statement of material facts as to which she contends there is no genuine issues to be tried. Of course she did. Of course she said that. When Doc said big money people keeping big secrets, that's why it was suppressed. Yeah, so to speak. I don't know, and I'm gonna give you some information about Ghislaine in a minute, but kind of sort of. All right, so Ms. Maxwell expressly preserves all of her objections to the admission. So I'm not gonna say I did this, but the admissibility of the evidence cited herein and in the accompanying memoranda of the law, and does not waive any objections by making these submissions. So the first one is Ms. Maxwell responds to the publication of plaintiff's false allegations. This was in March 2011 statement. In early 2011, the plaintiff in two British tabloid interviews made numerous false and I can't even get it out. False and defamatory allegations against Ms. Maxwell. In the articles, the plaintiff made no direct allegations that Ms. Maxwell was involved in any improper conduct with Jeffrey Epstein, who had pled guilty in 2007 to procuring a minor for the act of paying her for solicitation. We'll say solicitation. I think that's about a word to use without us getting into too much stuff and drama and trouble and all that good stuff. Nonetheless, the plaintiff suggests that Ms. Maxwell worked with Epstein and may have known about the crime in which he was convicted. Oh, she was working with him, all right. She was working with him. Them British tabloids always saying any and everything. Yeah, but I don't think they was too far off. And I think that some of the things she's saying that they didn't say that she was involved, but I think because they were so focused on Epstein that they omitted her from that. And then you got to think about it. She's a British lady of high class, like she's a well-known British socialite. So that in itself will do that too. I ain't gonna say she had big money because she did not. Epstein had the big money. Once her father passed, she started going into like a downward spiral as far as her money was concerned. Her father was the money. She was just a socialite. So where were we? Okay, so in this article, plaintiff alleged that she had intercourse with Prince Andrew, a well-known businessman and a world-renowned scientist, a respectable liberal politician, and a foreign head of state. He's the prince, son of Queen Elizabeth, who recently passed not too long ago. Brother of Charles, King Charles, who we just found out has cancer. It's a lot going on in that family. But yeah, so she's alleging that Virginia is alleging that she was made to do the deed with her. In response to the allegations, Ms. Maxwell's British attorney, working with Mr. Gao, Gao, I think, issued a statement on March 9th of 2011 denying the various allegations about Ms. Maxwell that have appealed recently to the media. These allegations are all entirely false. And so we have, I'm sorry, y'all, we have the statement here. So I'm going to read it. So by Devonshire Solicitors, PRNE, Wednesday, March 9th, 2011. This is in a press release. London, coming out of London, March 10th, 2011. That's the day that the press release was actually released, but the statement was written on March the 9th. Ghislaine Maxwell denies the various allegations about her that have been that have appeared recently in the media. These allegations are all entirely false. It is unacceptable that letters sent to Ms. Maxwell's legal representatives to certain newspapers pointing out the truth and asking for the allegations to be withdrawn have simply been ignored. So they was like, we don't care what you say. So basically they wanted them to retract the statements, and they was like, hell no, we're gonna keep going with this. In circumstances, Ms. Maxwell is now proceeding to take legal action against those newspapers. I understand newspapers need stories to sell copies. It is well known that certain newspapers live by the adage, oh, why let the truth get in the way of a very good story? Oh my gosh. However, the allegations made against me are basically, she said they are terrible. That, like, how dare you say this about me, Ghislaine, not me, but Ghislaine, and entirely untrue. And I asked that they stop, said Ghislaine Maxwell. A number of newspapers have shown a complete lack of accuracy in their reporting of this story and a failure to carry out the most elementary investigation or any real due diligence. I am now taking action to clear my name, she said, and it gives her the media contact for, which is her I guess her lawyer. So she goes against it. She says, nah, this is not true. She's lying. She's lying on me. And the tabloids, because it's really like she's targeting tabloids and not necessarily newspapers. And unfortunately, when it comes to that situation, them type of situations, people rarely believe the tabloids, right? Because they feel like they're just talking gibberish. Let me get a little sip. A little water. So anyway, they rarely want to believe what tabloids have to say. So I guess she felt like this would play to her advantage because, again, they're tabloids. Although they're newspapers or magazines or whatever they might be, whatever have you, they're still tabloids. So I guess she felt like that would play in her favor, right? Okay, so plaintiff's gratuitous and lurid accusations and the unrelated action. Okay, so in 2008, 2 alleged victims of Epstein brought an action under the Criminal Victims' Rights Act against the United States government, with the purpose of challenging Epstein's plea agreement. They alleged that the government violated their Criminal Victims' Rights Act rights by entering into the agreement. 7 years later, in December, on December 30th, 2014, Jennifer moved to join in the action suit, claiming she too had her rights violated by the government. And on January the 1st of 2015, Jennifer filed a corrected joinder motion. The issue presented in her joinder motion was narrow: whether she should be permitted to join the action suit as a party under the federal rule of civil procedure 21, specifically whether she was a known victim of Mr. Epstein and the government owed them CVRA duties. Yet the bulk of the motion consisted of copious factual details that the plaintiff and her co-movement would prove if allowed to join. Jennifer graciously included provocative and lurid details of her alleged encounters or activities as an alleged victim of trafficking. Child. Whoa. At the time they filed the motion, Virginia and her lawyers knew that the media had been following the Epstein criminal case and the CVRA action. While they deliberately filed the motion without disclosing Virginia's name, claiming the need of privacy and secrecy, they made no attempt to file a motion under seal. Quite the contrary, they filed a motion publicly. So on Virginia's side of things, they no, we're not going to go to the news and tell them who she is specifically for this particular portion of the case, but we're not going to hide it either. So when you come looking for us, when you come looking for, trying to figure out things, it's not undercover. It's not, redacted. You don't not know who it is. You know exactly who it is. And we're going to make sure you know exactly, because you're not going to be able to use that as part of your excuse. Diddy tried that with the young lady who was supposed to be 17, well, who was allegedly 17 when she was assaulted. They would not release her name. They wouldn't release her name. I'm gonna put that up in a minute, Doc. They would not release her name but the reason why they didn't release her name was because she was 17, which meant she was still a minor under the law, under New York law. So they didn't have to. It's that simple. It's not complicated. So these court cases get interesting. Looking, you shall find. Exactly. And that's how I feel like that's how Virginia and her lawyers are carrying it. Like, if you look, you'll find, but we're not going to make it easy for you. You have to go figure that stuff out for yourself. Right. So, As the district court noted in ruling on the joinder motion, Virginia named several individuals and she offers details about the type of encounters or acts performed and where they took place. The court ruled that these lurid details were unnecessary. I don't feel like they were. I feel like they were very necessary. But of course they would say they were unnecessary because rich people. But they said they were unnecessary. The factual details regarding whom and where the Jane Does engaged in the activities are immaterial and impertinent. What? Especially considering that these details involve non-parties who are not related to the respondent government. So when they say non-parties who are not responded to, they're talking about Prince Andrew and certain presidential figures. You feel like certain ones. So that's why they were impertinent. That's crazy. That's nuts. Accordingly, these unnecessary details shall be stricken. The court then stuck all of Virginia's factual allegations relating to her alleged activities and her allegations of misconduct by non-parties. The court said that the striking of the lurid details was a sanction for Virginia improper inclusion of them in the motion. You know, rich people are something else. Rich people are something else. Let's see. So the district court found not only okay, so I said I read that already. Unnecessary. Okay, so Virginia and her lawyers knew the motion with all of its lurid details was unnecessary because the motion itself recognized that she would be able to participate as a fact witness to achieve the same result she sought as a party. The court denied plaintiffs joinder motion. One of the non-parties, with Virginia named repeatedly in the joinder motion, was Miss Maxwell. According to the lurid details of Virginia's included in the motion. Woo, child. Whoa, we got a list. Where we at on time? We good. Let me see. Let me see what we got going on. Where it happened would be easy to find who was there at the top. Exactly. Doc, you want to roll with these rhymes. And then you added me into it. People's their itineraries would show, Doc. Their itineraries, that's why those flight logs that I have, those the phone books, contact information that I have, all of that is very important because it does tell who and what, and you can connect the dots. This is why I like going to court cases versus what everybody is saying, and just so we can get some information about it, a lot more information than what they're telling. So Ms. Maxwell personally was involved in a essay and trafficking scheme created by Epstein. Listen to this. Ms. Maxwell approached the plaintiff in 1999 when plaintiff was 15 years old to recruit her into the scheme. Ms. Maxwell was one of the main women Epstein used to procure underage girls for activities. Ms. Maxwell was a primary co-conspirator with Epstein in his scheme. She pursued the plaintiff to go to Epstein's mansion in a fashion very similar to the manner in which Epstein and his other co-conspirators coerced dozens of other children. Child, at the mansion, when the plaintiff began giving Epstein a massage, because I told y'all, remember, I told y'all that was how they lured him in with the massage. I will pay you to come give him a massage, and then you can go ahead about your way. But listen, so where was I? At the mansion, when the plaintiff began giving Epstein a massage, he and Maxwell turned it into an encounter. I'm not going to say, you know what kind of encounter. Epstein, with the assistance of Miss Maxwell, converted the plaintiff, Virginia, into a slave. I'm not going to say the other word, but into a slave. Plaintiff was a slave from about 1999 through 2002. Ms. Maxwell also was a co-conspirator in Epstein's essay. Ms. Maxwell appreciated the immunity she acquired under Epstein's plea agreement because the immunity protected her from prosecution for the crimes in which she had committed in Florida. Child, I can let it go because I do want to cuss. Thank you, baby. Yes, all of the dots would line up. Yeah, they would. That's why when I went to get these dockets, I really wanted to make sure I got all of the pieces that I could, and I'm still trying to make sure that I have the proper ones, because some of them are still redacted, and that was for a reason. But yeah, they connected dots. Them bitches knew what they were doing. All right, so where was I? Okay, so she was a co-conspirator with Epstein in the essay. Okay, so she appreciated the immunity because if she didn't get immunity, she would be convicted under the state of Florida, and she didn't want that. No. Ms. Maxwell participated in the essay of the plaintiff, which is Virginia, and others. Ms. Maxwell took numerous explicit pictures of underage girls involved in the activities, including Virginia. She shared the photos with Epstein. That's crazy. As a part of her role in Epstein's essay ring, Ms. Maxwell connected Epstein with powerful individuals so that Epstein could traffic the plaintiff, Virginia, to these persons. Prince Edward, Andrew, okay, certain presidential figures, those kind of people, dignitaries, things of that nature. Plaintiff was forced to have relations with Prince Andrew, because his name is all in this, with Prince Andrew in Ms. Maxwell's apartment in London. Wow. Ms. Maxwell facilitated plaintiff's sex activity with Prince Andrew by acting as a madam for Epstein. Ms. Maxwell assisted in internationally trafficking Virginia and numerous other young girls for those purposes, for naughty purposes or sexual purposes. I don't know how else to put that. Plaintiff was forced to watch Epstein, Ms. Maxwell, and others engage in illegal acts with dozens of underage girls. It is very important to take a look at these accusations because, well, they're at this point in that accusation, she's in prison, but it's very important to look at those things and what's being said, because what? Even like 16. Yeah. And it's very important to take a look at these things because it's a lot. In the joint motion, plaintiff also alleged that she was forced to engage in acts with Harvard law professor, Dershowitz, Alan Dershowitz, model scout, Jean-Luc Brunel, and other powerful men, including numerous prominent American politicians and powerful business executives, foreign presidents, and a well-known prime minister and other world leaders. I told y'all. Plaintiff said after serving for 4 years as a slave, she managed to escape to a foreign country and head out from Epstein and his co-conspirators for years. Dang, man. Plaintiff suggests the government was a part of Epstein's conspiracy when it secretly negotiated a non-prosecution agreement with Epstein, precluding federal prosecution of Epstein and his co-conspirators. The government secrecy, plaintiff alleged, was motivated by its fear that plaintiff would raise powerful objections to the agreement that would have shed tremendous public light on Epstein and other powerful individuals. Notable, the other Jane Doe, who joined the plaintiff's motion, who alleged she was essayed on many occasions by Epstein, was unable to corroborate any of the plaintiff's allegations. Also notably, in her, okay, I was going to say, I know ain't nobody calling me while I'm in the middle of this show. Also notably in her multiple and lengthy consensual interviews with Miss Churcher 3 years earlier, plaintiff told Miss Churcher of virtually none of the details she described in the Joyner notion. Ms. Maxwell's response to the plaintiff's lurid accusations in January 2015 statement, as the plaintiff and her lawyers expected before District Court Mara in the CVRA action could strike the lurid details of the plaintiff's allegations in the Joyner motion, members of the media obtained copies of the motion. At Mr. Burden's direction, on January the 3rd, 2015, Mr. Gao sent to numerous representatives of the British media organizations an email containing quotable statement on behalf of Ms. Maxwell. The email was sent to more than 6 and probably less than 30 media representatives. It was not sent to non-media representatives. Among the media representatives were Martin Robinson of the Daily Mail, P. Peachy of the Independent, Nick Summerland of the Mirror, David Brown of the Times, and Nick Always, and Joanne Pugh of the BBC, David Mercer of the Press Association. These representatives are all selected based on their requests. After the Joyner motion was filed for the response from Ms. Maxwell to the plaintiff's allegations. Now, and I'll read this real quick, and then we'll stop here and have a little discussion about these things that we are reading. So the email to the media members, and I want to go back to the people that they specifically spoke to or was sent correspondence to whom this may concern, please find the attachment a quotable statement on behalf of Ms. Maxwell. No further communication will be provided by her on this matter. Thanks for your understanding. Best, Ross Gal. Gal, because it's spelled like cow, but with a G. So here goes. Jane Doe 3 is Virginia Roberts, so not a new individual. The allegations made by Victoria Roberts against Ghislaine Maxwell are untrue. The original allegations are now not new and have been fully responded to and shown to be untrue. Each time the story is retold, it changes with new salacious details, but about political figures and world leaders, and now it is alleged by Ms. Roberts that Alan Dershowitz is involved in having relations with her, which he denies. Okay. Ms. Roberts' claims are obviously lies and should be treated as such, not to publicize as news, as they are defamatory. Ghislaine Maxwell's original response to the lies and defamatory claims remains the same. Maxwell originally denies the allegations of the unsavory nature, which have appeared in the British press elsewhere, and reserves the right to seek redress at the reputation of such old. So basically, that was her statement. So she's saying it's old news. Why are we talking about this again? We've already talked about it. Here's the thing: it hasn't been it wasn't ever proven to be untrue. Ghislaine, you just got immunity from those said accusations because that was a part of Epstein's plea deal. But it was never proven to be untrue. And then on top of that, listen to who she went to. I'm gonna repeat it again. So she went to the Daily Mail. I've been on the, I go there sometimes, check out what they gotta say. I'm a big Associated Press girl though. The Independent also read that publication before as well. The Mirror read that publication as well. They would probably be more of a tabloid. The Times, everybody's read the Times. And then the BBC, which we all know is a huge news syndicate within the British society, in the UK. But we also get the BBC here as well. And then Press Association, which I guess that would be like Associated Press here. But these people, they went to key people. They know what they were doing. They went to key people, and it's crazy. So Typo call them unsavory events. Yeah, okay. I like that one. I like unsavory events. I like that one. I might have to use that one. Hold that. I'm gonna call them unsavory events. Hold up. A law professor, think how crazy it is. Exactly. And that's just one of the people named besides Prince Andrew in this situation. And like I said, they didn't want, because it's a lot of people who have been associated with this. You got Donald Trump, you got Bill Clinton, you got Prince Andrew, you got Dershowitz, you got so many. It's like a long list of people. So yeah, of course they was going to try to cover up what people in the government knowing. Exactly. But you know how they do. What they do is they protect their own. And if it's something in it for them, if they're not tied into the situation, then it's something in it for them. Like, one hand washes the other. I do this for you. You do this for me. We good. I'm going to take care of it. That happens a lot. And I don't think a lot of people pay attention to that happening because they blind us with all the other bull stuff or bullshit. Being nice, but they blind us with all the other bullshit so that we won't pay attention to their bullshit. That's how it goes. Guess if you want to break the law, you should know the law. Yeah. What would be a better way to break the law? If you know the law, then you can find ways to maneuver around shit. You feel me? Like you can find ways to, okay, well, if I do it like this, then it won't be like this. If I have friends in high places, then it's not so bad. We got more to cover in this particular case because I got so much to say about this and there's much more reading to do. But I think we're going to stop there because I do have to get the love notes real soon. But I do have a few things I want to say before this. Before that. But yeah, what better way to break the law them to know the law or have friends in high places who are tied into the law. I'm just saying. It just makes all the sense in the world. And of course she's gonna say that these allegations are unfounded and untrue. Of course, because she felt like that one time she got immunity, that was gonna hold her over for the rest of her life. Now, like I was saying, you said something earlier. I wanna go back to something you said earlier, Doc. Hold on. Big money people keeping big secrets. That's how I got surprised. I think that's the statement. And here's the thing. Like I told y'all, when it comes to Ghislaine, her father was the money because he was a tycoon. He passed away. After he passed away, like, they didn't have as much money as they thought that they had. You feel me? Like, it wasn't as much money as everybody, but she was still a socialite. Everybody knew her. Then she moves to New York, and that's how she meets Epstein. And he had the money. She introduced her. She had the people. She had the connections, but he had the money and the way to get the money. And it's so telltale. Like, this is a telltale story. Because as long as he could keep them people with the secrets that he had on, because it's also been said that he had cameras every location that you went to, the island, Epstein's Island, the location that he had in New York. He had one in New York. He had one in Florida. He had a few locations. And it's been said that at every one of these locations, there were secret cameras everywhere. So, you know, he had tapes or video on these people and what they were doing. That's part of how he got caught up. So yeah, they would want us to believe that what she's saying is a lie, but I've heard the story from multiple girls. This is just one case. I've heard the story. I want to see if I can get my hands on some of the other people, you know, some of the other people. Like, if I can, I might have to do that. But I've heard stories from multiple other girls, two of which are sisters. They got the older sister first, and then wind up getting a little sister too. Like, it's crazy. And all of these were underage girls. None of these girls were grown women. None of them. None of the girls in Florida. None of the girls in New York. None of them were grown women. They were all underage girls. It is very important. This is why I don't mind doing this type of work right here, having these kind of discussions, because it's very important for us to understand what a predator looks like. They come in many shapes and forms and fashions, so don't ever get it twisted. But at least if you can have a little bit of the insight of what was going on, then you know something. Even down to the Diddy situation, like, and how that worked itself out. Now, he did grown women. He didn't care what they were, as long as they were just women. They, and especially if they was like 17 to, you know, their 20s, he didn't care. But them tapes or recordings could still exist. They need to find those. Yeah, they could. I think they have them. I just don't think that the plaintiffs, like, I don't know if that was a part of it. We're gonna find that out too, because y'all know I'm nosy. I'm gonna find out if that was a part of, you know, the litigation when it came down to Epstein, and when it came down. Sorry if y'all heard my computer. Somebody just like something on IG, but was that a part of the evidence for them to convict him? I would like to know that. Was that a part of the evidence for them to convict her? I would like to know that as well. It's a lot to uncover with these situations right here, and I'm here for it, baby. I'm here for it. I wanna keep investigating, because it's a lot to be said and it's a lot to pay attention to. But yeah, from what of my understanding, there were cameras at all of the locations, and I'm not talking about, you know, the security, the perimeter cameras. No, I'm talking about in the rooms, the bathrooms, the rooms that they use to get massages. There were cameras everywhere. So yeah, we're gonna keep on investigating this nefarious behavior. I feel like we should. I feel like, and as a victim of assault, unsavory events, as a victim of unsavory events, I empathize. I understand, and that's probably why I'm going so hard with these kind of cases, because I empathize. And like I said, that nigga's broke. These people are rich. If they can get away, and then just think about it like this. How many times have you heard situations where young ladies would be like, you know, oh, well, or they were like, why didn't you go to the police? Or why didn't you talk to the police? But they never try to understand why they didn't. Because people will say that it's untrue, or you'll go to court and they'll seal everything so it can't be said, or you'll tell the details, which are very important details. They're important details because they tie everything together, and they'll say they're unnecessary. Now, if that happens to people who were involved with people, you know, trying to go against rich people, don't get it twisted. It happens to broke, you know, people who are broke. It's just a stigma for and it's probably that I can't speak on the male point of view because I'm not a male, and I've never really, because like we talked about this before, men don't usually come, you know, forward as fast as women do. But even when these women come forward, they'll try to make you feel like you're lying. That happened to me. No bullshit. Like when I was questioned by the police, they were just like making it seem like I was like the biggest liar ever. They'll do that to you. And it is victim shaming, but they'll do that to you. And then they wonder why nobody wants to come forward. Or you get into a situation where people are being threatened. That happened to me as well. It's just different situations. But yeah, victim shaming is real. And people do that all the time. But I'm going to stand with them. I'm going to hold them down, and I'm going to speak on it. If a person felt they was done wrong, they need to report it. Point blank. Yeah, they need to, but the problem is the things that go on when after you report it. And I'm telling you this from firsthand experience. You report it. The police were called in my situation, and they made it very, very, very hard for me to like want to continue. Detectives' presence at my school, and the person who did it went to my school. People in the neighborhood making it seem like it, you know, like threatening you, like it's things. And that's again, this person was broke. We talking about, so if that can happen to me, what are we saying when it comes to people, rich folks, people with a lot of money, your Epsteins, your P. Diddy's? What do you think happens with them? They got money, so they can hire people to do stuff. They can pay off people so things don't happen. And that, I'm telling you, if that can happen to broke people, imagine the magnitude of what it looks like when they're rich. That's why it was very important for the Epstein situation for a lot of them ladies to come forward in order for them to make progress. That's why it's very important that once Cassie did what she did, for all the other young ladies to come through and speak their stories too. You know, it's important, but a lot of times it has to, when in those type of situations, money situations, you have to have more than one person. And all of them have to band together and like, fuck it, I'm not scared no more. And that's what it, you know what I mean, it is. But yeah, let's get to these love notes. I want to get out of this dark place that we're in, but people always victim shame, and it puts the victim in a crazy, crazy place. A crazy place. Man. I understand if I'm just saying, if anything, get some documentation, and just in case a victim changes their mind. Even when you get that don't mean nothing. It does not mean a thing. I can guarantee you it does not mean a thing. But let's get out of this dark space. I can guarantee you it doesn't mean anything. Documentation and all of that. I just said police were called. It was reported. I had to go to a therapist. Well, I don't even think she was. Maybe like she was like a I want to say she was a therapist, and she supposedly specialized in that. They don't care. They don't. It's hard being a victim of something that heinous. But anyway, we're about to get to the love notes because I want to get out of that space. I need to. I'm gonna report it, but when I gotta just be done talking about it for that, at certain points in time of the evening. So we're gonna get to the love notes. Now the love notes, just in case you don't know how we came to call them love notes. I used to call it love. Doc used to call them show notes. He said they were the size of a composition notebooks. They were not. Just had a lot of countries, states, and cities on that paper. And I had to, you know what I mean? But now I only do countries because the list keeps getting longer and longer, and it's very hard to focus on states and cities at this point. So now I just go for the countries. But Doc and I, we came to a conclusion, an agreement, we compromised, and now we just call it love notes. Yeah, and that's how we got the love notes. Child. I want to shout out anybody who is watching from Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You guys are very important too, and don't ever get it twisted like you're not. It's just these people that I'm about to shout out. They listen to me and they don't know what I look like. And to me, that's love. They just come to hear what I gotta say. So I love them for that. Big love. Big shout out to my listening audience. And the love goes as follows. It's all love. Thank you for all of the love. Shout out to my top 6, the United States, the United Kingdom, India, France, Canada, and Belgium, specifically Brussels and specifically Paris for France and Belgium. I appreciate you guys. Thanks. Hi. Russia, Indonesia, Japan, New Zealand, Australia, Turkey, Switzerland, Germany, Mexico, Austria, Philippines, and Kenya. Hi, babies. I love you. I'm sorry. I almost messed it up. Pakistan, Romania, South Africa, Nigeria, Brazil, Netherlands, Singapore, Spain, Ireland, Nepal. I love you all. Thank you for coming through and checking this podcast, man. Mauritius, Israel, Hong Kong, China, Poland, Tunisia, Venezuela, baby, the Czech Republic, Portugal, and Morocco. Hi, booze. Love you too. Ghana, Finland, and Cameroon. Hi, babies. Thank you for coming through and welcome. Just welcome. Welcome, man. It's all love, and I appreciate you guys for being here. Hello, the Eagle. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you. You're gonna have to go watch the playback because we've already discussed all of the things that we were discussing. But thank you for coming through anyway. Turkey basters on the love notes. Listen. I still can't even get past the turkey baster. I don't know, Doc. I don't know. I just don't know what happened. That was funny, though. Yesterday was a fun show. I enjoyed that show. It was a lot of fun. AU Big Purr. AU Big Purr. What I'll say is about everything that we did just discuss, though, is this, that I hope that this litigation changes how things are done when it comes to the unsavory events and the victims of those said unsavory events. I hope that the litigation changes a lot, and obviously it's starting to. I also heard that a certain billionaire rapper should be on the lookout too, because they looking at him too. That's what I heard. That's what the word on the street says, and you know who that is. And he hangs with Diddy. Well, he used to hang with Diddy, not so much these days. And I told y'all the little speech that he gave at the Grammys. That's how it started. It started a lot of other stuff, but once he gave that speech, it was almost like the industry was like, "We gonna wash our hands of you." And next thing you know, all these court cases started coming out on Diddy. You know what I mean? So you said, "Whoa, yeah." Certain. I wouldn't want it to be so, but listen, I'm going to just throw this in the air and you just go do the research yourself and figure it out for yourself, because I never tell y'all what to think. I'm not one of those type of people. But Foxy was how old? Find out how old she was when she came out when they did Ain't No Nigga. Beyonce was, they said 18, but the facts don't line up. The young man whose mother has passed and he's alleged to be Jay-Z's son, when they supposedly messed with each other, she was a minor and Jay-Z was a grown man. I'm just saying. And that's for what we know for right now. So I don't know, but there's word on the streets. Word on the streets. Some other stuff, or other tea on the streets, but I don't know how I believe. I don't know how I feel about this. Damn, first the Fat Boys break up. I'm just saying. Now every day I wake up, somebody I hope that's not the case. I always rock with Jay-Z as a rapper. You feel me? I rock with the moves that he was making as a the upper echelon, an executive. You know what I mean? Like it's respectable, but at the same time, one thing that we do know about these higher ups, these important people, these executives, these political figures, these obviously they have stuff going on in the background that we don't know about. Obviously. And I dare here, once you get to a certain point, they want you to prove that you're in it. And that's part of how you prove that you're in it. And once you start it, I guess you can't stop it. I don't know. But yeah. Oh, Aaliyah, she was still underage. You feel me? Like, yeah. And he was on that heavy at the time. So, word on the street is count your days. Your days are numbered. That's what the word is. I don't know for sure. Nothing's been made official. These are all alleged allegations about what's supposed to happen. I don't know. We worldwide, but sure. How to make this funny today? I'm not sure how to make it funny. I don't think that it could be funny. You feel me? I think this is why we do these particular things, because it's not meant to be funny. It's meant to shed light. You know what I mean? But it's all good. We'll be funny other days. Top flight, catch the vibes. Don't catch the cases. No, because if you catch a case, boo, I'm going to expose it. I'm going to read it to the world. Don't you go catch no cases if you don't want me to read it. Because I'm going to go with court documents. I'm not going to go with they said, who said, even though I did just spill that little bit of tea. But it's because it's looking like. But that's alleged tea. But these documents I read on a Wednesday, they're not alleged. They're court documents. Got them from the court. Because it's public information. So you catch a case, I'm going to Taliban. I'm going to snap, not to the feds. I ain't going to them and none of that shit. But I'm going to tell the world, and specifically if you're a predator, I'm telling it. If you're a predator, you out here harming children, you out here harming women, and I say children because in that case it'd be boys or girls. You out here harming women, I'm going to tell it. I'm going to sing it from the mountaintop. I'm going to tell it. So don't go do that. Don't catch no cases. Don't catch no cases. I got some stuff I got to say real quick. Don't catch no cases because I'm going to tell it. I'm going to read your court docket. Oh, yes, I am. Again, you can always join the conversation. Drop a comment. Call in a text. The number is 443-850-4828. 443-850-4828. You can ask me to drop a link. I might, but you have to be on your best behavior because I don't play that shenanigans over here. It's not the type of games I'm on, and I'm not for it. If you want to come to the show for any reason, you want to contact us for some advertisement or sponsorship type of situation, you want to drop a little tip, let me know what's going on in these gap streets that I don't already know, or whatever the case may be, contact at ambitiouslyent.com. Again, the email address is contact at ambitiouslyent.com. Yes, it is. Note that if I play a video, I have permission. You heard Authentic John Doe up in here. He already had told y'all what time it was. I got permission. I only play videos I have permission for. Like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. We need every like, every share, and every subscription. It's a free way to support this show, and we appreciate it in advance. And then I'll say I appreciate it when you do it so I can shout you out. Hold on. I gotta get this off the screen real quick. It's bothering me. Check out the website, www.ambitiouslyent.com, www.ambitiouslyent.com. Join our coffee community. That's where you can see, that's where you're going to be able to find these documents. That's where you'll be able to find them, so you can read them for yourself. And then you can form your own opinion. I don't want you just believing what I said. I want you to go and form your own opinion. Did talk to my DJ today. We got a meeting tomorrow, but I talked to him today about the meeting. And then I also talked to him about the mix. And he said it will be ready, but it'll be here. So join us for the fire mix. Go DJ, because that's my DJ. Yeah, shout out to Rukazy, man. Shout out to Rukazy. Hell of a DJ. I'm glad that's my DJ. If you would like to donate to the show, you can. $ capital LURLUCIDITY. Lord, lucidity to Lord them in clearly. That's what that means. And let us know how you feel about the mixes. We like to know. We like that. We like that. We like that. Okay. So, yeah. So he is working on the mix. Be easy. That was a lot that I just said. Mouth a little dry. Had to tighten it up. Mind your business. Everybody's business is not your business. I promise you, everybody's business is not your business. Mind your business. Except for on Media Mondays, where I come and tell you everybody's business because I'm nosy as hell, and I like when you're nosy with me. The tap in, sometimes some people's business seeps out, but it depends on what we're talking about. We had a hell of a time yesterday on the tap in. On Wet and White Wednesdays, where obviously that's what I'm doing right now. I'm exposing these fools. But other than that, mind your business. Safe way to live. Great way to live. Mind your business. It's better that way. Love your babies. Hug your babies. Encourage your babies. Tell your babies that they are the GOAT, the greatest of all times. They need that encouragement. I don't think enough people in the world encourage their kids like they should. And that's why their kids are not out here doing the right thing. So if you encourage them to be great, then they will gravitate to doing the great things that they should be doing. I'm just saying. Dang. They want to work for NASCAR, tell them to be the best NASCAR driver, pit boss, or commentator, or whatever else they do over there at NASCAR. I don't know. I don't even watch NASCAR. But the point is, if they want to do that, then you encourage them to be great at whatever it is they chose to do over there in NASCAR. If they want to work for NASA, tell them to be the best astronaut, engineer, freaking receptionist, janitor, secretary, or whatever else they do over there at NASA. No, I didn't put it's going to take a minute. I didn't put the telescope together. But the point is this. Whatever it is that they choose to do, it is your job as a parent to encourage them to do it and be great at it, and always remember to let them know that they are the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Yeah, because I didn't put it together yet. It's going to take some time. I haven't even had a real day off yet. And then building up to the shows and stuff that I work on and try to do. So I haven't done it yet. I'm going to do it. I am. Haven't done it yet. I thought I'd just throw that in there so everybody know I didn't do it yet. But thanks for holding me accountable. I appreciate it. But I'm not going to lie to you either. I didn't do it yet. Stay in your lane. Everybody's lane is not your lane. You jump in my lane, you're going to get this. You don't want her. She bitchy, mean as hell. She can be quite evil when she want to be. You don't want her. There's two sides to the Libras. One side of the scale and the other side. And on this side of the scale is her, and she's not nice, and you don't want her. You want her. She's nice, sweet, kind, and cuddly, and all of that good stuff. She's all of that, or at least her. Hey, you big purr. Hey, you big purr, because if Cat is purring, Cat is a happy girl. But you don't want that first one. She mean as shit. I don't know. I can't even control her. Like when she take over, it's just like, oh, you on your own now. I tried, but you didn't want the other two. You wanted her, so this is what you get. Hey, you big purr. Hey, you big purr. And what usually happens when you jump into other people's lanes is a collision, and who the fuck needs that? I don't need that. I don't need that for you. You don't need that for me. We don't need that for we. So just stay in your fucking lane. That's it. Stay in your lane. Last but not least, pick and choose your battles wisely. Every battle is not a battle for you to fight. Some battles you gotta be like, you know what? You won that. You got that. And they be thinking when they win them little bullshit ass battles that they really won. They didn't really win. They didn't really win because they forgot all about the war that they have to fight. And trust me, in any situation, there's always a war. Mom B tell y'all all the time. They said it's a war going on outside and ain't no man safe from it. So don't worry about the bullshit battles. Worry about the war. The war is the bigger issue. That's it. It's that simple. Oh man, y'all. These cases, they take their toll, but I'm here for it. Oh, like what? Yeah, don't worry about it. It's all good, Doc. We all make mistakes sometimes. I make a lot of them, but I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Especially, and don't let me get to sending a text message too fast or an email too fast, man. Lord, all the mistakes in the world. But yeah, make sure y'all go check out our past episodes, past interviews we've done. We ended the year with Bomb, which was awesome. We started the year with Linwood. Sunday we sat down with Authentic John Doe. I love doing interviews. That's one of my favorite things to do. So make sure you check that out. You know what I mean? And check out the regular episodes. Me and Doc be cutting it up on the freaking tap in. It'd be fun. That last one was real funny. But make sure you go check out our previous episodes. And trust me, we have much more to come. With that being said, I gotta go. Hip Hop Hippie out. Bye.
Oh,